Good day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be looking at the whole of the Tottenham Hotspur squad. So looking at players that have been on loan as well, as they'll probably likely be coming back. And we'll be going through it and looking at the best players to keep, sell, or loan out. We'll get right into it. Obviously, you know, if you've watched my channel before, I do FPL content. So if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe, as that will be coming back. But for now, for the break in the season, in the end of the season, we're going to be doing a bit of football content, as you've seen on my channel already, since the season ended. But we'll get started in this one anyway. So with the goalkeepers, Hugo Lloris, for me, it's hard to say, as he's been a great servant to the club. He's been our captain. He's been, I guess, in terms of my lifetime, one of the safest keepers we've had in net. There's no other keeper that I felt as safe as with Lloris in goal. You could argue Brad Friedel was pretty solid, but Lloris just kind of took it to the next level for me. And as my little brother's a goalkeeper and he loves Lloris, so when I'm going to have to break the news to him that he will be leaving, it will be a hard one. Especially as he said, it's kind of time for a new challenge. He's only got one more year on his contract. And Spurs are looking to bring in David Raya from Brentford for around 35 to 40 million. So it's almost a guarantee that Lloris will be going. And he kind of deserves it. If he's going to go to Saudi, get that big money move. He hasn't won anything domestically for Spurs. Obviously, he's won the World Cup, which is great. But yeah, he deserves to go Saudi, one last payday. And I wish him all the best. Next up, we've got Fraser Forster. So I'd actually keep Forster as a number 2. So if David Raya does come in, we're going to need a number 2. And Forster has shown this season that he can do that. I don't think he's good enough to be number 1, but as a number 2, I don't see any issue. We also got Brendan Austin, so I'd keep him, the young goalkeeper. Yeah, third choice keeper. We're not in any cups, so I doubt he'll get any game time, if at all. But yeah, always a player that kind of be that third goalkeeper spot that you need to have in the squad. We'll move on to the right. Well, mostly wing backs. Obviously, we had Antonio Conte, who played the wing back system, so a lot of our fullbacks are wing backs, and Ange Postecoglou does like to play a 4-4-3, 4-3-3. With inverted fullbacks rather than wing backs. So some of the players are probably not the best fit. But we'll start off with Pedro Porro. I think he's looked really good going forward so far since he's come in January for 40 million from Sporting. But defensively, not too sure on him. But I think he'll fit nicely into the Postecoglou system. So I'm going to keep Porro. There's also an opportunity for him to play a bit further forward. And we know how good he can be offensively. So yeah, Porro is an exciting player that I look forward to seeing more next season. Another attacking fullback that I hope to see more of is Jed Spence. So I know he's probably better suited to be a wing back, but obviously Conte didn't want to give him an opportunity last season. He did go out on loan at Rennes and did okay. But yeah, just excited for him to get a run in the team. And okay, maybe Porro would be first choice, but I feel like Porro can play a bit further forward, and Jed Spence is always a great option to have there. This is a difficult one. Emerson Royale has done okay last season, I'd say, but I don't think we need 3 right backs in the team. But for now, I will be keeping him. Again, 3 right backs are way too much, but Porro can play further forward. So for that reason, I will be keeping Emerson Royale. I think he's done okay last season. He's solid defensively. He'll probably be better in a 4 at the back, which is what we'll play under Ange. So I'd keep him there as to be that defensive option. If we got a big game away from home, maybe Emerson is a better option to play there rather than Porro or Spence. Okay, this is worrying though, having 3 right backs, but at the moment I can't decide which one has to go, and we can't get rid of everyone straight away, so we'll keep them for now. Ben Davies, for me, has to stay. He's shown how reliable he can be. He can play centre back in a 3. He's even played centre back in a two at the back or four at the back sometimes. So, and he can play left back. I wouldn't probably trust him left back as often, but um, for now I'd say just keep him there. He can slot in at centre back if we absolutely need him to. He's a good to have around the dressing room, and he's an experienced player, and he's done us well over the last whatever it is 8-9 years. A player that got bought in for free but is on high wages and was touted as perfect for the Antonio Conte system is Ivan Perisic. For me, I'd be getting rid, maybe not selling, probably going on a free because of his high wages, but it just hasn't really worked out for him. And I feel like having him in the side has put Son's form into question. I feel Son doesn't really get that space out there because of Perisic. Again, for me, you could keep him to be a backup option on the left wing, but for me, I think we've got enough players in that sort of position that can play there where we don't really need to keep Perisic at them high wages. Next up is Ryan Sessegnon. Again, another player that is suited to a wing-back formation, so I'm going to go loan for now. If there are buyers out there, I would sell him. I just don't think he's good enough for this level. I don't know what he is either. Okay, wing back maybe. Don't think he's good enough as a left wing. I don't think he's good enough as a left back. So for me, I'd loan him out and sell him if we did get the right offer. This is a difficult one. So Reguilon, I did actually really like Reguilon when he was first at Spurs. It obviously went on loan last year and it didn't quite work out for him. I would keep him. Maybe I'm being too nice, but I would keep him. I think in a four at the back, he is much better. He's kind of good going up and back. And with Udogie, who we'll speak about next, we're not too sure how he will perform in the Premier League. Obviously, did really well in the Serie A last year, which is why we ended up buying him and then loaning him back. But I'd keep him as well, Reguilon and Udogie. Obviously, we're excited to see him. He has looked really, really good. You could argue that he's better in a wing-back formation, but I don't see the issue of him transferring to a four at the back formation and playing left back. Obviously, there's a lot of wing-backs in the keep section, which is not ideal. But for now, I'd rather just see a few players and then decide in January if we want to get rid. So if Porro is playing every game and Emerson's not really getting in the team, then I'd sell Emerson. Likewise with Jed Spence, if he's not getting in the team, sell Jed Spence. It's a difficult one as we don't have European football this year, so we're not going to be playing as many games. Probably less likely to rotate. But I think it's important to see a few more players as we are changing systems. So it's more likely that players will have a new lease of life, new voice, and I'm hoping, that some of these wing backs can start performing. I'd say Porro is probably a definite starter for me. And then out of Davis, Reguilon and Udogie, it's a toss-up, to be honest. I don't know if Davis can do that left-back role anymore, but and Reguilon is not too sure on him, and obviously Udogie's new, so that's what is difficult. Next is Japhet Tanganga. I would loan him out. So we were going to sell him last year, but we didn't actually go through to an Italian club. I like him. He's a local boy, but I just don't think he's good enough. Who knows? Like he could be a left back option. If Porro's bombing on, then he can slot in, and it can kind of go to a three at the back, the way kind of Ben White does with Arsenal. But I just don't think he's good enough. I think Ben Davis will probably be better at doing that role. So for me, I would loan Tanganga just to bring up his value a bit more, and then probably sell him next year. Joe Rodon, I would sell. So he's been on loan this year. They do have an option to buy, so hopefully they do take that option. It's been a pretty shocking signing, to be honest. We were in for Ruben Diaz, and we ended up getting Joe Rodon, which just sums up Tottenham Hotspur. So a player that probably had a bit more potential than he's shown, but yeah, not good enough, and he needs to go, to be honest, for his own good as well, not just for Spurs. Next up, Davinson Sanchez. So a lot of controversy with this one. A lot of Spurs fans don't like him, have booed him. But for me, I would keep him for now. Don't get me wrong, like we need 2 new centre backs, but for now, I just think we need to probably keep Sanchez. Just because, to be honest, I don't think we're going to be getting 2 new centre backs. I think if we get one, then we're probably going to need Sanchez there. Another definite, well, not definite Sanchez, but Romero is definitely staying. For me, he's our best centre back, and that's not saying much, but we've seen what he can do with Argentina. Okay, it might be risky playing him in a 4 at the back with just 2 centre backs, but he's shown with Argentina he can do that. So he is a keep for me. Eric Dyer, it's a tough one. I think I'd keep Eric Dyer. Again, I'm probably being too nice, but I'd keep Eric Dyer. I just think it'll be difficult to get into centre backs in the summer. And it is doable, don't get me wrong. And if it is doable, then Sanchez and Dyer can go. But I need 4 centre backs minimum. For me, yeah, anyway. Clement Lenglet, for me, I wouldn't make him permanent. I don't think he's that good. Obviously, I think this is a bit controversial, but I think he's better than Sanchez and Dyer, but I don't think I'd buy him. I'd want someone better. So until we get that, I'm happy with just using Sanchez or Dyer as the backups, and then we'll get in a better centre back. So that's what I'd be going for anyway. Oliver Skipp next. It's a tough one with Skipp, to be honest, but I'd probably loan Skipp. I know, again, another local boy. I just think he needs a loan to a Premier League club, and just get a bit more experience. I don't know if he is good enough to be a starting player for Spurs. Yes, part of the squad, but with no Europe, we'll be needing our squad that much. I'm not too sure. I do like Skipp. Like, honestly, he's a player that I love watching. He gets stuck in, but I think for this season, I would loan him out, maybe to a lower Premier League club, a Palace, or if he can get that loan, a Luton even. So yeah, I'd loan out Skipp for now. Basuma is a definite keep. For me, he is going to be starting under Postecoglou. I think he's probably one of the guaranteed starters. Although he had a underwhelming season, his first season at Spurs, he did have a lot of injuries, and I can feel this season is going to be much better for him, and I am excited to see him play, as he was great under when he played for Brighton. Next is Pape Matar Sarr. I'll be keeping him too. I think he showed glimpses where he's done really, really well this year. And I think with a 3 in midfield, he will excel. So being kind of that number 8, that person that has the license to go forward, but is also solid defensively. And with Bentancur out until January, I think Pape Matar Sarr is definitely a keep. He showed glimpses away at the San Siro that he can be a solid player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him next season. Bentancur is a keep, but like I said, he's injured till January, so you can't really be counting him as part of your plans early on. I just think he's just classy on the ball. We notice a big drop in our performances when he's not in the team. So when Kulusevski and Bentancur came in 2 seasons ago now, or last season, you could say, if we're still counting this season as this season. That he just improves our team so much. So I'd be keeping Bentancur. Højbjerg is a keep. I think Højbjerg's a difficult one, but his passion, his desire, we don't have many captains in our team at the moment. So with Lloris going, Dyer maybe going, I would be keeping Højbjerg, and I think he can do a job. We've seen how great he can play against City. He does really well in the big games. He does perform, so I'd be keeping Højbjerg. Harry Winks, I would be selling him again. Another local boy. I just don't think he's good enough. I don't really know what he does. Almost. Yes, he's good at playing 5-yard passes, kind of keeping the ball almost. But I just don't think he does enough for me, personally. We'll go with Gio Lo Celso. So Giovanni Lo Celso next. I think he can do a job, and I would like to give him a chance. So we put him in keep for now. I think he's almost perfect for the Postecoglou system, but I just don't think he'd want to stay and fight for that spot. We've shown how good we've seen how good he can be playing for Villarreal. Maybe Emery will come back in from him and take him to Villa. But for now, I'd say keep. But we'll revisit this at the end of the video, and we'll see if we're going to take a few players out. And Ndombele, I'd give him a chance as well. Again, new manager, who knows, could get a tune out of him. When you've paid so much for a player, you kind of got to give him a new chance when there's a new manager. Okay, every manager, Conte, Mourinho, to an extent, Pochettino. Obviously, Nuno wasn't there for long enough, but they didn't fancy him, so there's got to be a reason why. But we'll leave him there for now, and we'll come back to the end of the video. Lucas Moura, he's going to be gone. He's already gone. His contract's over. Yeah, thanks for that night in Amsterdam. And you should have started the final. I don't know why you didn't. Obviously, Harry Kane came back, but you should have been starting the final. So yeah, thanks for that night anyway. But yeah, it's time for you to go and bring in some fresh legs. Kulusevski, so he's actually currently still on the loan, but I'm hoping we make him permanent. I think he can play a number 10 role. I think he can play wide right, and even probably through the middle if he has to. But Kulusevski's been great since he's come in. Yes, last season wasn't the best, but he did have a lot of injuries. So I would be keeping Kulusevski. Brian Hill, I'd be keeping. I think I'd give him another go. He's got a bit more experience, playing kind of men's football now. He just won the Europa League, which is funny. We obviously swapped 20 million plus Eric Lamela for Brian Hill, and Eric Lamela and Brian Hill were at Sevilla and won the Europa League this year. So that's great for us. But yeah, I'd give him another chance. I think he is good on the ball, and under the right manager in the right system, I think he can do a job. Obviously, probably not starting as Son has that left spot on lock, and maybe Kulusevski has that right spot on lock, right winger spot on lock. But if Kulusevski moves into a number 10, or even Hill can move into a number 10, I think he can be a good player. As you can see from the system, from the players we're keeping, we don't have many number 10s. So a player like that can be creative is a good player to have. But Danjuma's loan has ended, so I'd probably just send him back to Villarreal. Obviously, he didn't get given time, or I'd like to see him given time, as I think he is a good player, but I can't see him wanting to stay. And to be honest, we've got players that we've spent money on already that we probably need to give a chance to, rather than and Danjuma. So I'd probably not renew his loan, or not buy him. I'd keep Son, obviously. I've seen a few people say sell Son because he's getting a bit older. Last chance to get a bit of money for him, but there's no way I'm selling Son. He's still got double figures, and he had a shocking season last season, and I think Son can do it again. He's been great for us, and I think he'll thrive in this Postecoglou system. Probably has a lot more license to get forward as well. Maybe even come in with the wing backs going on the outside, or even stay wide and the wing backs come in a bit more central. So excited to see how Son performs next season. Harry Kane is a keep. We hope, I should say. I say that, but for me, I think I'd rather get the money for him and sell him to Madrid than keep him and let him go on a free. But there's always hope by keeping him that we start to look a bit better. Postecoglou kind of wings him around. and he decides to sign another contract. So I'd say you'd have to risk that and keep. Richarlison, shocking last season, but for me, I think there's a player in there. I think he can get goals. He can be that sub off the bench, even if he's playing well. Fight Son and Kulusevski for the left wing and the right wing slot. There could also be a chance that Kane drops into number 10, and then they play Richarlison up top. But yeah, I think a good player to have off the bench. Obviously, terrible season last season, one Premier League goal. He's been booked more times for celebrating goals than he has scored goals. So not the best season, but I do have faith Richarlison can turn that around next year. Last we've got Dane Scarlett. For me, I'd loan him out. He didn't do that well on loan at Portsmouth last year. He started off well, but didn't end it too well. So I think another loan would be good for him. We'll just quickly run back through the team. So I think Forster, well, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. So it's a big squad. I think you're only allowed, is it a 25 or 23 man squad? So plus obviously youth players. So that is not the best at cutting it down, but we'll go through now and see where we can get rid of a few players that we don't really need. So Fraser Forster, yep. Brandon Austin, yep. Pedro Porro, yep. Jed Spence, yep. You could do him another loan. I don't think that would be harmful for him. But I'd probably look at him first. But if it comes down to it, I think another loan is a good option. Emerson Royale, again, if a bid comes in, I'd sell him probably. Ben Davis, I think, is a keep. Reguilon, to be honest, we'll stick Reguilon in sale. I think we've got Udogie and Davis, and I think Porro may be able to play left back. So we'll leave that in there for now. Davinson Sanchez, I've changed the sell. We just need to get 2 centre backs. I'm trying to find a way where we don't need to get 2 centre backs, but we just have to get 2 centre backs. That's a minimum, to be honest. There's no two ways about it. We need to get 2 solid starting centre backs. Then we've got 3 kind of no dropping class. We've got Romero, another one, and another player, but there's no dropping class between them. And then we've got Dyer that can be that player if there is 2 players injured. So we need to get 2 centre backs. That's it. Sanchez is gone. Dyer, I would keep for now. I think his leadership, who knows, he could come back into playing into midfield, where he's probably played his best for Spurs. But for now, I would keep, because getting 3 centre backs is going to be hard. And yeah, we'll struggle getting 2, I think. So we'll keep Dyer in there for now. Bissouma, yeah, definite keep. Asar, I think keep. Bentancur keep. Højbjerg keep. Lo Celso and Ndombele, yeah, that's a tough option. I think if we can get any money back, then yes, but we are pretty low on midfielders. Okay, we've got 3 here. Bentancur's out. Asar might be best for him to go out on loan, but I think he's good enough to be in the squad. I'd probably sell one of Lo Celso or Ndombele. For me, I don't think we have that many creative players, so we'll drop Lo Celso in sell, because I think we can actually get some money for him and leave Ndombele there. Who knows? Postecoglou can get a tune out of him. I feel silly thinking that this guy can change and be a good player for us, but with his talent, you just got to hope. And yeah, I guess it's the hope that kills you. So we'll move on to Kulusevski. Brian Hill, again, I'd probably just give him another chance. We can always loan him out and get someone in January, but for now, I'd give him another chance. Son, Kane, and Richarlison. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that squad looks. There's room. I'd say fullbacks we're okay with. I got David Raya. Get David Raya in. Fullbacks were okay. A left back would be great, but I think for now we're okay. We need 2 centre backs. We need a kind of number. I'd say a number 8, while Bentancur's injured or and we need a number 10. For me, if we get a goalkeeper, we need a goalkeeper, 2 centre backs as the major priorities, and then probably a number 10 / progressive 8. That's how I would go so far. That would be who I'd keep, sell, or loan from the Spurs squad. If you have liked this video, please make sure you do like the video, smash the like button. It's completely free and it'll really help out the channel. And subscribe to the channel if you are new too. Yes, it is an FPL channel, but I will be doing football content throughout the year, trying to kind of diversify the content a little bit more. So yeah, subscribe to the channel too, and yeah, stay tuned for the next video.